Guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to rank all the palettes that I bought in 2021 from start to finish. So if you would like to hear my thoughts, see what I purchased and more, just keep on watching. Try to squeeze this in hopefully before the first of the year, but I wanted to rank my palettes, go through the palettes that I've purchased for the entire year. So we are going to start out with my number one palette of the year. I did purchase a second palette and a palette for my 1K giveaway. And I bought her brushes, but my love, this was the best palette out of the year. Out of all the brands that I purchased from, Blendbunny Cosmetics was number one with the Blends palette. Guys, if you have not tried Blendbunny Cosmetics, you are seriously missing out. This formula, the shades look so buttery. They are buttery. Let me tell you, they are smooth, they are pigmented, and they blend like a flipping dream. I cannot say enough good things about this palette. And I've used the Blends palette to save other looks. Where other formulas did not do very well or weren't as pigmented as I needed, Blendbunny Cosmetics saved the day. It's just every color in the rainbow pretty much. I mean, this, you can mix these colors and blend them together. They don't get muddy. They don't lose their color. It's just such a well thought palette. And Maggie is a influencer turned brand owner. And she has a nudes palette coming out on January 12th.
On January 2nd. Correct that. January 2nd, Blendbunny comes out with her new palette.
Let me tell you something. This girl seriously knows what she's doing. I do have a code. I don't make money. It's to save you money. For anything Blendbunny Cosmetics, and it is BelindaMua, and I'll put it right here across the screen. And I will list her in the description box. If you do not know who Maggie is, I will list her Instagram in the description box and her website in my description box. Please go check out Blendbunny Cosmetics, guys. I've used this palette quite a bit, but you can't tell it. The most colors I've used the most is these two right here. But it just takes the tiniest little bit, and they're so pigmented. This is my favorite palette of the year. Out of the expensive ones and everything, this is my favorite palette. Now, she also came out with the Surge palette this year. And this is the Surge palette. Again, so pigmented. The colors look like buttery. They're buttery. And she put a row of shimmers, her first shimmers. And you can also use this bottom row as UV liners. That is awesome. I love this palette because of the grunge looks that you can do with it. And also the way that she made this palette is, if you go from the white down to the neon green or neon yellow, you can do a look out of just that one row. You know how ColourPop makes their little single one, like 5-pan shadows? Well, that can be one look or one color story, 2, 3, and so on. So I really like Blendbunny Cosmetics formula. I like Blendbunny herself, Maggie. I like what she stands for. She supports us. She reposts us when we tag her and do a look with her stuff. She's just all around amazing. So if you are never heard of Blendbunny Cosmetics, make sure you go check them out, because the Neutrals palette is coming out January 12th, and I could not be I'm so freaking excited, guys. And something else that she came out with, and if you are here on my channel, I'm sure you have heard me talk about these, is her brush set. This is Blendbunny's brush set, and they are labeled B1 through B5. They are so aesthetically pleasing. I love the way she's colored these. I love the brushes. They're so soft and they blend out. One thing that Maggie is obsessed with is her blending. And not only did she give us a kick-ass formula, she gave us kick-ass brushes to blend out the formula with. But these colors blend themselves, but these brushes help so much, and I love them. Moving on to number 2 would be Huda. I purchased 3 palettes from Huda this year, and my most favorite is the Roose Quartz. This palette is so flipping beautiful. They are cool toned colors, and her shimmers are to die for. I love her shimmers, but this palette is so beautiful. I love this palette. They're pigmented, they blend, little pricey. Great palette. And then I also purchased the Mercury Rising, or Mercury, I say that every time, Mercury Retrograde by Huda. I have yet to do a video on this one yet, but I love this one too. It is just so beautiful. Look at those shades. And her shimmers, Jesus. Oh, God, so pretty. I said I wasn't going to swatch during this, but, I mean, so pretty. Oh, that would go good on this eye look. I've already took pictures, so let me pop a little bit right here. Oh, man, that really made that pop. I may have to take some more pictures. Took it up a notch, did it not? But this palette is so beautiful. I had to have it in my collection. And then I did purchase one of the brown, chocolate brown palettes, and I really was not a fan of this. There is something about the 9-pan palettes. This is the second 9-pan palette that I have gotten. One I got in my Ipsy, and then this one. The formula is so different than these big ones. It's just, I don't know, it's not as pigmented. They don't swatch as well, and they're a little under half the price of these, but I think I would rather spend the $65 and get the big palettes than the 9-pan palettes. So this was not for me, but that was my number 2 mention. My number 3 favorite was Sigma Beauty. I love this palette so much. The Cora De Rosa. It is all spring, all, you can do summer looks. I even did a couple of fall looks. I did a winter look out of this. I love this palette. Sigma's formula is pigmented. It blends out so easily. I really, really, really love this palette. It is my number 3, and I will give it a 5 stars. And the Huda palettes, besides the 9-pan, is 5, and Blendbunny is 5 stars. But it comes with a little brush, double-ended brush. I just love the Sigma formula. Love their brushes. I've purchased several sets of brushes already from Sigma. I do love their brushes. And then the next palette that I purchased from Sigma, I only purchased 2 this year, was the Ivy palette. These are the 9-pan palettes from Sigma. They are good. I would like to have the others, but this was a very beautiful palette, and this is kind of like a duochrome. It kind of looks like a duochrome. See how it's brown and green? I love this palette, so I was glad to have gotten that, and I would like to try some more of the 9-pan palettes. So Sigma eyeshadow formula is a yes for me, and I would recommend it to you. Coming in at number 4, the Bperfect Carnival Antidote palette. This palette, she's gorgeous. If you love all fall colors, if you love greens, you love oranges, you love shimmers. Oh, the shimmers are so beautiful in this palette. This formula is amazing. It blends out really well. It's pigmented and they last. I will swatch one out of each, I guess. I will do my favorite in here. Glisten. I love that one. And then this one, silvery. This is silvery. Is that not gorgeous? And I would rate Bperfect's eyeshadow formula as a 5 stars. It's so good. And it's affordable. And I love Stacey Marie. So Bperfect is coming in at number 4. Next, number 5, and y'all are gonna be like, what? Actually, yeah, I'm gonna put this one in first. My Danessa Myricks is coming in at number 5. I've only got to use this palette a couple of times, but I actually just bought it to use these, you know, in eye looks as toppers or duochromes. It comes with a highlighter palette in the middle. These are so stunning. This is one of my favorites. I'm going to swatch it for you. Look at that. Okay, so it looked green. And it looks purple right there. It's just, oh, I love these colors. Now, I won't use every color in here, but I had to have it for other looks that I might do. So this is number 5 on my list that I love. And I did get an extra highlighter palette to put into my 1K giveaway for you guys, so you could try it out too for the 1K giveaway. So I thought that was something that I could include in the 1K giveaway that somebody would like to get. So I know a lot of people would probably put this on their number 1s, but it's not something I will use every day. So coming in at number 6 is the Natasha Denona Mini Retro palette. I love Natasha's formula. I do have the Glam palette I bought last year, and the first palette of this year was the Love palette. But I don't like this one that much. The colors were a little patchy for me in this one, but now I haven't had any issues with this one. Go figure. But I bought this one when it launched, and then I bought this one in February. And these reds were so patchy. These right here were so patchy. I'll use it, but you know, it's not my favoriteest palette. But I do love this one. This screams me all day long. And the colors are pigmented. They do blend out. I like the cream to powder formula in this one. That's the first time I believe I've tried it, unless there's cream to powder in this one. But this one performed very well. I love this. I love her shimmers. Really good. I do suggest you start out with the mini. Start out with a mini to see if you like her formula, because I have heard some people don't like the big palettes. Like I said, this palette, a couple of the shades in this palette were patchy for me, and I bought it for the reds, and they're patchy, so I won't use the reds, but I will use the other colors in here with some looks. This one was fine. And then I ordered 2 minis this year. I ordered the Mini Love palette, and I love this palette. I actually did a giveaway with this one. I'll swatch one for you. We'll swatch this darker one. There's that one. Or this one, I'm sorry. But these were pigmented. They blended out. I can do 3 or 4 looks, maybe 5 out of this. And I really liked it. And like I said, I did a giveaway with this one. And I also ordered the Mini Zion palette, or Xenon palette. And I also did a giveaway with one of these. And this palette, I will say, the Blendbunny Cosmetics saved the look when I did a black and silver look with this palette. They are pigmented, but it just wasn't giving me what I needed, so I had to pull out another palette to save that dark look. But this would do fine little glam, you know, soft glam looks. But I like her 5-pan palettes. This Natasha Denona, this would be my 5th favorite palette, I think. This one right here. I like these too, but this is my most favorite Natasha Denona palette that I bought this year. Coming in at number 7. This is number 7 on my list. I did purchase this through Busy Beauty. I got a big box from her this year, and this is one of the palettes that I wanted. I do love purple, and I had heard a lot of good things about the volume 5, and I had to have it because it's purple, and it's you know, I had to complete. I have one more I got to get to complete the set, but I love this. The formula seems better than the number 1, 2, or 3, or 4, or the 1 through 4. This does seem a little different. It seems a little bit better, but I still like my other ABH palettes, the Norvinas. I still like all of those, but this one I would have to say is my favorite out of all of them. And I would give this a 5-star. All right, the next brand coming in, the Mikayla palette. I love Glamlite's formula. I own a lot of Glamlite palettes, but I did buy 4 this year. This palette is, I love Mikayla, and I love Glamlite, so I had to have it. I did buy the entire collection. I just didn't buy the PR box. And the only thing I will say is her purples are a little patchy. That's no shade on her, on Glamlite, but I had some issues with the purple, the 2 purples. That's why I hadn't done a whole lot. This one was fine. It's Frisky and Part 2. Frisky and Part 2 gave me issues. So then again, that's where I pulled out my blends palette and hammered that shit down. But I really love this palette. I actually have NARS on right now. And this is NARS. I have it on my, well, I covered it up with that Huda palette. But I love the shimmers in this palette. They are so pretty. They're so good. Glamlite's formula, I have always ranked their formula as a like a higher brand, like up there with Natasha Denona. I've said that I like their formula better than I do Natasha's. So, but this was my favorite of Glamlite this year. I really love this palette. And then the next one that I purchased from Glamlite this year would be the ice cream palette. This is the ice cream palette. And of course we have Shimmer City in this one. We have lots of shimmers. We have lots of ice cream flavored colors in this palette, should you say. I have used this palette, I think, once. Honestly, I've used the shimmers about 3 times and I like it. It's a great palette. I have nothing bad to say about this palette. The purple in this palette is really good. I didn't have any issues with it. So this is a good palette. And then I ordered the chocolate martini, which I love. This one is really pretty. I love this palette. And I will do a couple finger swatches for you. I mean, look at the pigment. Oh, gosh, Glamlite is so good with their shimmers, buddy. I'm telling you, you can't find. Whew, look at that. And this is a duochrome. You can see the purple, you can see the blue. But I mean, Giselle does an amazing job with her formula. I love the Glamlite formula. And this is a cute little palette. I did a real pretty look with that. And this Dirty Martini, I purchased 2. I didn't like this palette. I'll just be honest. I didn't like the green palette. It's got some really pretty shimmers in it, but I felt like it needed a darker color for depth. These look dark, but when you go to blend them out, you still need to deepen the outer corner. If not, you're going to have the same colors. And I do think I pulled out my blends palette to save this look. I needed a deeper color to deepen it. But I just really, this one wasn't for me. One else that could use it. But I mean, it's got some pretty shimmers in it. I love that one. Okay, next coming in at number 9 would be the Weirdo palette by Jeffree Star. Screams, you know, like weirdo looks. I love the burgundies in this. I love the gray, the black. I love this red. I've used this palette several times and I love it. I think it's beautiful. There's one shimmer in the palette. I haven't used it yet, but there it is. But I like Jeffree's formula, but this is the first palette I bought from him and since the cremated. Yeah, but I had to have this one. It was small, it was, you know, cute, and it was all my colors. So, and it's a 5. The next palette, the Life's a Drag Facelift palette by BelindaMua. This is my very first Lunar Beauty purchase. I had never tried anything from Manny except for his lip glosses. When I say purchase, I mean palette. So, I ordered, I think, a lip gloss with this. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, a lip gloss. But I thought this palette was cute. It's got a variety of colors. You can have your colorful side here. You can have your neutrals over here. You can mix them and make new colors. But this palette was okay. A couple of looks out of this, and it performed well. I don't have anything to say bad about it. I mean, look at that. This color right here, I love. The pigments, They're nice. They're pigmented. They blend out. It's just not one of the palettes that I would probably use because I have the Blends palette. If I did not have the Blends palette, I would be reaching for this palette more. But the Blends palette is my #1 palette. I will talk about it till the day that I die. I love that palette. So on a scale of 1 to 5, this is a 4. The next palette is the Spectra palette. This is by a indie brand, Gormande Girls. I really like this palette. It is very beautiful. It's very pigmented. The colors blend out really, I was very shocked. I'll just be honest. I didn't think it was going to perform as well as it did. But I wanted to support the brand. Christina, I think her name is Christina or Christine. She's always, you know, supporting everybody, and she has brought out like, I think that 4 or 5 palettes already, counting, and then she has face palettes and stuff. But I wanted to try out the formula, and I want to buy that time of the year palette, the Christmas palette that she came out with. That's really pretty. But I would highly suggest supporting Gormande Girls. The formula, for an indie brand, it is good. Okay, it is good. I wish every indie brand could make pigments this good. I will use this palette again. I think I've used it twice. I have a lot of makeup, guys. I really love this color right here. Hey, that kind of looks like that. Oh, 2 passes to make it that pigmented, but it's still a good palette. I love it. Her shimmers are nice. That first shimmer is hers. But yeah, great company to support. If y'all want to support an indie brand, I highly suggest Gormande Girls. So the next palette, so this is number 10, and I give it a 5. The next palette on my list is the Morphe 35S Sweet Oasis. I bought this because of these colors right here, and right here, and right here. I wanted half of the palette, but I couldn't go with half of it, so I just bought it. It performed well. You know, most of Morphe's formulas are good. I have bought a couple palettes that were not that great. One I returned and one I gave away. But I like this one. I will use it again come spring and summer. You have your neutrals here. You've got your pops of color over here. You've got, you know, neutrals here. You've got some shimmers in here. It's a good palette. I would give it a 4. And then the next palette, we're almost done, guys. I didn't buy a whole lot this year. I was really surprised. Tartiest, I think. I'm not sure. I have only used this palette once and probably would not repurchase. It's okay, but it's a lot of light colors for me. I like darker colors. It would be great for a little neutrals look, for a little neutrals palette. It's got some peach in it. It's got some pinks, a dark purple. You've got your neutrals over here in this area. You got a couple of gold shimmers in here. You got a champagne shimmer right here. I mean, it's a good palette. I have nothing bad to say about it, but I won't be reaching for this palette. So I will scale of 1 to 5, I would give it a 4. They blend it out for me really well. They're neutrals, so they're not going to be like hella pigmented, guys. There's 2 out of that. I mean, it's not a bad palette. Now, I may reach back for it in the spring around, you know, February, March. I may use it again if I don't get rid of it before then. But that is number 12. And the last palette, eyeshadow palette that is, would be the e.l.f. Electric Mood palette. The only reason why this is coming in last, I've only used it once. I just bought it for a review. I didn't swatch the whole palette. Every shade has not been used. I think 3 shades were used in this entire palette. It is pigmented and the shimmers are nice. I would not give this a 5-star because it is drugstore. Turn around and give this to my grandchildren, to the girls, or my daughter if she wants it. But I doubt that I will use it again. I just bought it for a review and for an unboxing. But I like e.l.f. Okay? If that's all I could use, I would buy e.l.f. They're good. Sorry guys, I'm getting a little hoarse. This is not an eyeshadow palette. This is a shimmer palette to me. I love this palette. This is the Makeup by Mario. It don't go into the 1 through 13. But I love this palette. I use it a lot. The colors are pigmented. They are just stunning. And you can also use a mixing medium with these. I've used a mixing medium with those, and they are like foil. But I really love this palette. I highly recommend. And then another brand that another thing I want to mention is, I tried Beauty Creations eye bases. I highly recommend Beauty Creations. I've tried their lashes. I've tried their eye primers. And I really, really like them. I haven't used them all. I still have 3 I have not used. But I highly recommend them. I recommend them. These right here are really good. The colored ones, I like those. I'd like to have them all in that kind. But I bought these, and these can be used as primer or as eyeliner, so that's a honorable mention. And then another brand, which it's not eyeshadow, but these are some of the brands that I want to mention. Tower 28. This stuff, you have got to get it before summer gets here or spring gets here. This stuff looks just like skin. It gives you the prettiest glow, and it's protectant for your skin. It has SPF 30 in it. And I don't know how many shades that they have, but I love Tower 28, and I will be ordering from them. I ordered a cream blush. I ordered this, and I have 2 of the lip glosses, and the lip glosses are delicious. I love them. But this is a brand that I highly recommend, is Tower 28. I guess that's it, guys. These are my eyeshadow palettes of 2021, ranking them from 1 all the way up to 12 or 13. I've lost count again. But let me know what you think of the way that I scored these. Which one would you have put first? I'm putting first the one that I use the most, the one that is the best quality for me, and any of these other brands, because she was number 1 out of everything that I bought. And that's speaking pretty freaking highly. I'm sorry, but that's pretty good in my book. I hope this was entertaining for you. I hope you liked it. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. And if you have not subscribed to this channel and you like makeup and beauty related content, make sure you hit subscribe and ring that bell so you don't miss a beat. And I will see you in the next one. Stay blessed.